told me that he tried to talk to her about things, and Camilla told me that everybody tried to look after her at the beginning. She wouldn't have it because she knew all about it. She knew how to run in a royal family, and of course she doesn't. So she's made a huge mess of it. Huge.
No, she
Serves
really
her
has.
right. Serves her right.
8 years on from their royal wedding, the Hollywood guests in attendance have been revealed to have fully rejected Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, with some even describing her as the cheapest and claiming that no one even wants to hang around with her. The Daily Mail, asking the question why Meghan and Harry have been ditched by A-list friends as insiders, reveal Oprah's merciless snub, why the Clooneys now want nothing to do with them, and how she is the problem. Now, of course, I have been reporting for many years about how Hollywood turned on Harry and Meghan. What the Duchess, and I call her the fake Duchess now, never understood is that the reason these people attended the wedding was because she was giving them an opportunity to have proximity to the British royal family. And these Hollywood celebrities are awful. They don't do real friendship. Oprah don't do real friendship, okay? Trust me. The Clooneys don't do real friendship. Neither do the Beckhams, actually. Neither does Idris Elba. It's all about what you can get. It's all about how this positions you, how something enhances the brand. And so even the few people amongst that small group who actually think Harry and Meghan are nice people, that is, again, a very small portion, don't want the connection because the connection isn't helping. Their agents, their publicists, their studio executives are saying, I'm sorry, if you are linked in an article, if you are photographed with these two, actually your box office potential weakens. And no one wants that. It's the Blake Lively effect. Okay, no one wants that. Taylor Swift doesn't want to be associated with Blake Lively anymore because it hits the bottom line. And very few celebrities will take the risk of their bottom line being hit. But it was Alison Boshoff who has done this new work alongside Paula Frolic, who'll be here on Thursday, by the way, for the Daily Mail. And I want to take you through it because she reports for much like the schism that has developed between the couple and the Hollywood elite, Meghan and Harry have fallen out with so many showbiz power players that said they have no bridges left to burn. A significant number of the Sussexes' high-status friends have now also removed themselves from their orbit. Not that Harry and Meghan believe that this could possibly be their fault. They don't get it. They never think it is them. One associate of theirs tells me. So where once there was a warm connection between the couple and those powerful friends in the pew, there is now, if not outright, anger, a puzzling distance. My source tells me they love famous people. They are very name-droppy. The association gives them a kick, but if someone stops calling them, they don't ask why. And think about that, because you could see it in the Netflix documentary, right? When they got the text message from Beyonce. You could see how that gave Meghan Markle such a list, because deep down in her soul, she knows she's a D-list cable actress who Beyonce would never have been given any time for. But the reality is that now these people are running away. Like Oprah, even Oprah, who got the interview and got the invite. And Alison Boshoff reports things are rather chillier. While Meghan has definitely been to Oprah's house, I am told by a source they are not as close as they once were. Indeed, the relationship appears to be existing on a hair's breadth for one reason. As well-connected broadcaster and former Page Six columnist Paula Frolic of News Nation tells me the truth is Oprah has been long-arming the Sussexes for some time. She can't let them drift too far away because if something happens, one of the three big Ds, divorce, death, or drama, she will want the interview. But she is not actually friends with them. And that's so cynical, isn't it? Who wants a friendship like that? Who wants a transactional friendship where Oprah is keeping you there, sort of hanging, in case you get divorced, in case there's a royal death? It's truly grim. And Boshoff says her source is blunt about Oprah's dissension with the Sussexes. The bottom line is Oprah only likes people when they have something to offer her. Honestly, I think she might be worse than they are for that. And that's saying something, because the thing is, even when people go down a dodgy path, if they're nice people, sometimes Hollywood will keep them close behind the scenes. But Hollywood knows that Harry and Meghan Markle are awful, that they treat people terribly. Like, that's the absolutely overwhelming thing, especially since the falling out with Netflix and Ted Sarandos. The Clooneys, actually, and I will give them credit, I'm not fans, but they realised this long before anyone, really. And Boshoff reports that the Clooneys, who live between New York, LA, London, France, and Italy, found space for Meghan on their private jet, a luxury which would be well beyond the Sussex pocket. And retired tennis champ Serena apparently picked up the huge tab for the Swishmark Hotel. This is when they were in Lake Como. An associate says this kind of gifting from friends is very much the done thing for the Sussexes, whose money troubles have only grown since the end of their lucrative Spotify and Netflix deals. They ask for a lot of resources to be spent as they believe it is a privilege to be in their circle, says a source, adding they think they are entitled to all the private planes. The source also believes that Meghan is cheap or stingy in British parlance. She is the cheapest, the insider claims. The burgeoning friendship with the Clooneys ended, however, with Megxit. The source says the Clooneys now want nothing to do with them. Certainly, Harry and Meghan have never been invited to the Clooneys' annual fundraiser, the Albies, which honour humanitarian work, nor have the Sussexes, who regard themselves as prominent humanitarians, ever won an honour, which appears to be quite a snub. And this from Paula Frolic. George and Amal Clooney were never friends with her. They have literally nothing in common and side with the actual royals. And isn't that so shocking and embarrassing for Harry and Meghan that they invited people to their wedding who they were never friends with, who they never had anything to do with? The cringe is off the scale. And the Clooneys, as I said, I don't think they're great people, actually. But again, they want the real royalty. Now, someone who is a nice guy, actually, is Idris Elba. I used to know him a little bit. And he DJ'd at their wedding. And Boshoff reports for the first time that that friendship has ended in the same way for the same reasons. And that is because Elba has been a prominent supporter of the King's Trust. And again, I reported this previously. Idris Elba is doing a Netflix show with the King. He made his choice. And he's actually a nice guy. Like, there's a lot of people in Hollywood who are really horrible people, right? Like, so many. And Idris Elba is not one of them. He is actually a decent guy. And it's the decent ones who realised very early on that they didn't want to be part of this circuit. Have you noticed, by the way, things have even cooled with James Corden, who was right there at the heart of the wedding, even emceed the wedding. Now, before the Clooneys, I will give credit to the Beckhams, David and Victoria Beckham, because when it was still trendy to be friends with the Sussexes, they decided to withdraw all association. And Boshoff reports that some speculated the snub was down to Meghan, who believed the Beckhams were beneath her. They were said to have fallen out more when Meghan suspected Victoria of leaking information about her to the papers, a suggestion which apparently made David rage. In contrast, things have been far more equitable between the Beckhams and other royals. David remains close to Harry's nemesis, William, and is closer yet to King Charles. I mean, we saw them together, didn't we, this week at the Chelsea Gardens show? The friendship with Harry has, you could say, been allowed to tail off. Well, I'll actually go much further than that. David and Victoria Beckham were completely disgusted with the way that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle acted. And sure, they blame Meghan, but it doesn't mean that they accept that Harry acted in the right way. I mean, for God's sake, he got David Beckham to fly halfway around the world with his sons to Sydney for the Invictus Games and then refused to meet with them. Now, Meghan wasn't anything to do with that. That was on Harry. And it was also totally delusional to believe at the time, and remember at the time I was reporting on all of these people for the Sun newspaper, that Victoria Beckham was ringing and leaking stories. She wasn't. She wasn't. I wish she was. She wasn't. Perhaps most intriguing is the fact that Serena Williams has now turned as well. And she hasn't turned in the sense that they're no longer friends at all, but are they close? Alison Boshoff says no. And she writes, the other big star at the wedding, tennis legend Serena, introduced Meghan to her agent Jill Smoller in 2006, when Meghan was an obscure actress writing her blog, The Tig. I hear Serena is fine with the couple. Fine. That's what you call damning with faint praise, isn't it? But they definitely aren't as close anymore. While Serena was at the wedding with her husband, Alex Ohanian, she has since put distance between herself and Meghan because I'm told she is not a drama queen and she tires of it all. Apparently, Serena's new bestie is social butterfly Emma Thin, the Marchioness of Bath. Serena posted with her at the recent Met Gala, along with Meghan's ex-best friend, former Vogue editor, Edward Eddingfull. And of course, we dealt with that in full the other day. And certainly, Serena is making a real point by saying that her loyalties lie with these people who are rivals to Meghan or who have fallen out with Meghan. Boshoff goes on to say that Meghan's formerly close friendship with Canadian socialite and stylist Jessica Mulrooney has also ended somewhat spectacularly after Mulrooney got caught in a racism storm over an argument with an influencer in 2021. Her TV show was cancelled and so was her relationship with Meghan, who had made her chief bridesmaid yet did not speak publicly in support of her old friend. The Duchess's old agency boss, Gina Nelthorpe-Crown, who represented her in her Suits years, once remarked Meghan moves on, and so it proved. Many others who in 2018 had seemed a part of their clique are also no longer in the Sussex gang. Meghan's colleagues from Suits were at the wedding in force, but only Abigail Spencer appears to have stayed close to Meghan. A handful of close relationships remain. Elton John is still very tight with Prince Harry, although it is observed that it is a Harry relationship rather than a Meghan one. And he does that out of loyalty to Princess Diana. I've spoken to Elton John about that, you know. He is very pro them, but it's from that basis, it's from a historic basis. He has no idea about what they're like day to day. It's also interesting he no longer sends his private plane to bring Harry and his family for holidays at his Saint-Tropez home. It is. So her house executive Marcus Anderson, who was instrumental in the early days of the couple's romance and honoured with a front row pew at the wedding, is still very close to Meghan, staying at their Montecito home and going on family holidays with them. One source says it is a genuine relationship and he says they are lovely people whom he cherishes. Another, though, offers it's for clout. They made him. From what I can see, the people who have stayed most loyal to them are beneath them and get something out of it. Everyone else they fall out with. And that's the thing, Marcus Anderson isn't a celebrity. I mean, the only reason anyone has ever heard of Marcus Anderson is because of his connection with Harry and Meghan. To our royal mastermind, Angela Levin. I mean, it is absolutely damning, isn't it, Angela, when you think 8 years on, all of those celebrities who were invited now have nothing to do with the couple. And even the ones that are sort of in the wider orbit, and I'd put Serena Williams and Oprah Winfrey in that category, don't really want to have anything to do with her.
No, I think part of it is that because they're involved with the King's Trust, that they don't want to actually upset the King and come across anything that can be an argument or Harry demanding something. So they've just decided these are the people who are giving towards the charity and making people who live in the street to give them a chance. And that's where their first thank you becomes. And so they don't want to do something with Harry and Meghan that might upset the King, or he could make some very rude things about the King, and they don't want to hear that either. So they've left that. And so it's very clear. They also don't like the way that Harry has been attacking the royal family. I don't think that these people who are rich but also kind and down to earth, they don't want to be involved in a nasty argument.
To have someone who was a bridesmaid, I mean, your chief bridesmaid, I mean, the problem is it's none of these are one-offs, are they?
No. I mean, Meghan makes a mistake all the time because she says rude things about people if they're not actually high enough in what she thinks is very important. She feels that she's absolutely the most important woman in the world, and she's the cleverest, and she knows everything. And I think this going to find nobody was interested in her talking about children the other day, I bet she can't believe it, but she does feel that, she'll go 10 times more people will be there than Catherine, but she's wrong. And she doesn't understand it. She cannot understand. And the people who don't want her, who find her rude and actually just thinking about herself, she doesn't understand it. She goes on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. She just won't accept anything. The only time I've ever seen her really scared is when the four of the children they were looking at after the Queen's death, and Catherine was giving her the most terrible looks. And she was really scared. Meghan was really scared. And she was just fiddling with her hands. She didn't know what to do. And that's the only time I've really seen her scared. And I thought, well done, Catherine, because she's doesn't show that.
Yeah, because
That
Catherine
she's
had
not
the
going to
measure
let
of her by then.
somebody. Pardon?
Catherine had the measure of her by then.
Yes, absolutely. And she wouldn't have anything to do with her. So that's the time she's really scared. And I think that she finds it very scary with the royal family because they're all dignified and behaved very well. And she doesn't know how to handle it. If she sort of tried to learn, Harry told me that he tried to talk to her about things, and Camilla told me that everybody tried to look after her at the beginning. She wouldn't have it because she knew all about it. She knew how to run in a royal family, and of course she doesn't. So she's made a huge mess of it. Huge.
No, she
Serves
really
her
has.
right. Serves her right.
It does. It does serve her right. Now, Angela, Prince Harry, I mean, for people who don't know, you were Prince Harry's biographer, and obviously the Invictus Games was such a big part of his legacy. But this Invictus Games now seems to be in crisis ahead of the event in Birmingham in 2027. Yes. Now, you're hearing, Angela, that Meghan Markle is currently intending to attend, but she's going to arrive late. And yeah, this comes at a difficult time, right, for the games. What's going on?
Well, she will never let it be known by her, so she keeps everybody not knowing if she's coming or if she is coming, very secret and actually. But I think that's how she's going to do it, because then she can make a big entrance. But the thing is that Birmingham hasn't got any money, and Harry and Meghan are demanding lots of money for clothes for Meghan, for hotels, for travelling, and that's what they're demanding, and they can't have it. And the other thing that's happening is that a woman called Melanie Poole, a distinguished member of the Board of Trustees for Invictus Games, has left her role as vice chairman, which was a heavy blow for Harry, and she's not on his side. And I'm not surprised. That way she's got out of it. But I think the whole thing about Invictus Games is Harry to absolutely be unpleasant to his father. I'm sorry to keep on saying that, but you can just read it through. He wants to give the speech. He wants to show everyone he's much better than his father. But the thing is that it's Camilla's 80th birthday at that time, and I think he will be absolutely unsure whether he should pop over, whether he should not. I hope he doesn't, because I can see that Meghan will arrive late, so she'd have the speech, not the king. And I think it's all sort of plotted out that they'll get it, and he will have been left at the top of the building and not doing anything. So I hope he doesn't come. But actually, the people who are involved in this, the ones who've been wounded, they don't want to do it anymore, because they say nobody takes any interest. They just take interest in Meghan and her clothes. So that's not very good either, is it? I mean, it's
no.
Really...
You were on that. You were on that, Angela. I remember from February, people were telling you that. Now, Angela, there's obviously so much focus on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and their security, right? And the fact that they feel like they can't come into the country. There's some question marks now, though, about whether our real royals are being properly protected. This front page in the Sun newspaper was pretty disturbing. Armed cops guarding King Charles at Windsor Castle have been accused of falling asleep on the job, sparking an urgent probe. Up to 30 people from the Met's Royalty and Specialist Protection Squad under investigation. Matt Wilkinson, the Sun's royal editor, also reporting that it is claimed some clocked on for duty then failed to attend their post. The King and royal household are aware of the investigation. The Met's Directorate of Professional Standards will decide by the end of next week if any cops will be taken off duty following the probe. And this comes, Angela, after a number of recent security scares at the castle, which regularly hosts many high-profile official events. Last June, a drug-crazed intruder in his 30s climbed a wall and was arrested on suspicion of trespassing. And a crossbow-wielding man broke in on Christmas Day 2021, saying, "I'm here to kill the Queen." Last night, a source said of the police standards probe, "I've heard one allegation suggest someone clocking on for duty and then not turning up at their post. It's an embarrassment for the police as well as exposing a potential security breach. These are serious allegations which could lead to officers being suspended and placed under investigation for misconduct and dereliction of duty." Now, Buckingham Palace has confirmed that it has been informed of this investigation. They declined to comment. However, what's interesting is the Metropolitan Police, led by the Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley, has confirmed that something is very wrong, Angela, in this statement. Let me just take you through it. Our Directorate of Professional Standards has launched an urgent investigation following concerns raised regarding the conduct of a number of officers on protective duties at Windsor Castle. The allegations include officers leaving posts unattended and sleeping while on duty. The alleged behaviour falls below the high standards expected of officers, particularly in frontline protective roles. The Independent Office of Police Conduct has been informed and concluded that this matter will be investigated locally by the Met. As part of their inquiries, DPS is assessing whether any of those under investigation should be placed on restricted duties. A decision is expected to be made on this before the end of next week. Well, I'm sorry, Angela. That's not good enough. I mean, you know I believe in innocent until proven guilty, but these people should be removed from duty immediately while the investigation is going on, because my feeling on this, Angela, is that currently the King, the Queen, when they're at Windsor, and also Prince William and Catherine, who, remember, are protected because they're within the royal estate on Windsor, are protected by the same people. I don't feel they're safe.
No, I think actually you do feel that all the people there, the police there, would be honoured to actually look after the king and save him and be up and make sure they're watching everywhere while they're on charge, and actually a great honour. But how they can just drop off is very, very serious. What were they taking? Drugs? Were they very tired? Well, did they eat too much? They've got to be dealt with immediately and thrown out and get people who actually understand the importance of looking after the king and his family. I find it absolutely extraordinary, absolutely very, very upsetting, and makes you very angry at the same time.
It really does. It really does, Angela. And especially given that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are now trying to stretch the resources of these officers further. We've got to remember too, the Metropolitan Police is overseen by London's Islamist mayor, failed mayor Sadiq Khan. I mean, this just is terrible. It's terrible. It's like, if we can't properly protect our British royal family, how can we protect anyone, Angela?
Yeah, well, it's very worrying. I find it frightening, and I feel there's dark clouds above. I don't know why it's so awful, but we've actually got to make a big sound and crossness that actually that they do something properly.
It's just not good enough.
Cares as the always English person. And they've got to make sure that the top of the list are there to look after. But they've got to do it very quickly. They can't sort of wait for sort of 6 weeks and see what's going on. They've got to deal with it immediately, I think, same as you, really. It's very, very worrying. And I don't know how the royals can sleep if they know that they're not actually looked after.
Indeed. Very, very worrying times. But I think it definitely does prove that they need to sort out the security for the real royals, okay, before
Yes.
they're trying to take on more security duties for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle every time they want to trot in
But
to
nobody's
cause
after
trouble.
Harry and Meghan. Nobody wants to go after them.
No.
We can see the places are empty wherever they are.
Well,
Nobody's
look at
impacted
Meghan this week
them.
in Geneva. No
Well,
one
that's
showed
what I
up.
mean. Yeah, there's nobody there. They're not after them. They're not in danger. It's nonsense. Nobody's there. Whereas actually with the King and Catherine and William and Camilla, we do need the people there. And they must do it quickly. I mean, they've got to have the respect and understanding that these are extremely important people, and not that they're just any old person who's coming along and just make sure that they, did or didn't have a good night. See, everything's got in terribly terrible mess. I'm so sorry about it all. It just makes you feel ill and sad.
I know, exactly. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, thank you so much.